what are your thoughts on Boosie's commentary?
Boosie badass.
Another iconoclast. Let's do that.
What are your thoughts on
Word of the day.
commentary that America is the brokest it's ever been? You have to change your lifestyle, and companies have to lay off thousands of workers. So is America as brokest? Is that even a word? I'm not sure. But is America as brokest as it's ever been?
Of course, Boosie is not an economist by any stretch of the imagination, but
Thank you for the disclaimer.
yes. And he's not a iconoclast like our guest is coming on. But it's interesting when I see Cardi talk about politics, Boosie talk about the economy. I do feel there's a tightening. Is America in the worst financial shape it's ever been in? I don't think so. But I will say things are a lot tighter. Like GDP fell 1.6% in Q1 compared to 3.4% last year. Even the fall of Tesla over the last 2 months has been reflective. Apple being down has been reflective. Retail sales are not as amazing as they should or could be. But I do think things are tighter for people. Even when I'm talking to people offline and the occasional time I may ride past Walmart, Rashad, I'm not going in. I may go to Target. When I'm talking to people, they're like, hey, why isn't the money flowing? And that's why I always say, lesson 2, go to the M2 money supply. Like, we printed money so fast in 2020 that now when we have reverted back to the mean of the money that's available, it's not as much money available if you are in the middle class. Like, really now, 110, 120,000 is middle class. And when we were growing up, like 100 grand was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's been a major adjustment in the economy. Hopefully things get better over the next year or two. But I don't think it's the brokest we've ever been, but I think it's the tightest it's been probably over the last 6 or 7 years, especially for African-American communities.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that he has a perspective on it, because he could be talking about other things that have no substance. So
that's a great point.
Right. This brings awareness to a topic that is vitally important. And so I understood it because it could feel like that, right? In our communities, if you ask people when they go to the supermarket, does it cost more?
Yes.
Yeah, it probably does. If you talk to people about has their credit card debt increased because the interest rates have gone up
dramatically,
they can feel that. Are they able to finance a car loan? It's costing more. So yes, it feels that way. Statistically, it's not the case. And you said 100,000. If you look at statistically, America and some other power 8 countries, the level of wealth has grown since 2020. I think America in 2020 had 7.6 millionaires.
Yep.
2023, that number's grown to 22 million, which is 6% of the population in the country. And so the wealth has grown. I don't know if the middle class is at 100,000 anymore. I feel like 100,000. I mean, you might just be getting
break even.
It might be break even. So I understood why he said it. I'm more impressed about the consciousness of the state of the economy. Because again, he's right. Like, if he's talking about people in this, you can feel it. You hear inflation. This is something that again wasn't brought up, but you hear the word inflation. What does that mean? And now people are looking at it and feeling the effects of it. So it's understandable to have that sentiment, which makes it even more important. Shows like this, being educated around the topic of financial education is so important, so that you're not left out when we're talking about it. Feels it like, no, you're on the other end of that, right? You've educated yourself, you've invested, you're starting to be part of that trajectory that's leading upwards when we're talking about wealth creation.
To both of you, do you think that the printing of the money in 2020 was the cause for the increase for the additional millionaires that were produced, or do you think there was some other factor that played a significant role in that?
Yeah, I feel that it's a variety of different things, but I feel that inflation goes into play, and I feel that I actually feel the opposite of what he said. He said America is the brokest it's ever been. I actually feel like this is the most money. This is the more people have money now than ever before. And this is me. This is not just me from my personal perspective. This is me talking to other people in different areas. I talked to a contractor, and he said that he's never seen people with this much money. People paying $400,000 just to get their attic done in cash, right? We've never seen so many people buying properties in cash, over asking, right? Cars, you can't even
25% over asking, right?
you can't buy a Mercedes Benz right now. Like, you know, this, you got to wait 6 months for a G-Wagon. Like, there's so many different things that it's the tale of two economies.
That's a great point.
The rich are getting richer,
Yep.
while the poor is getting poorer. So he's speaking from one aspect of it, but from the overall general sense of the economy, I don't think that there's ever been a time where there's been this much money that's been flowing, and it's been happening for, like you said, you know, pumping money into the economy. But then, you know, real estate values have skyrocketed. That's helped a lot of people's wealth. Stock prices have skyrocketed. That's helped a lot of people's wealth.
Crypto.
So crypto, that's helped a lot of people's wealth. Starting businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the tech space, and those businesses have taken off. That's helped skyrocket a lot of people's wealth. So I kind of look at it from a different standpoint, but this is why it's vitally important to make relationships and to educate yourself, right? Because the next 5 years are probably going to be the most important time in our generation and potentially human history. So if you're not on the winning side of this coin, the losing side of this coin looks very dire, right? Because when you look at over 200 million jobs globally taken out from AI, right? When you look at the price of real estate is going to keep going up, inflation, everything is going to go up. And we know that even if you have a job, jobs usually stay the same as far as the amount of money that they're being paid, especially jobs that don't require extremely higher education. So you're going to become priced out to the point where not only can you not even buy a home, but you can't even afford the rent, right? So now you're going to have roommates. Now you're going to have, you know, carpooling to even have a car. This is something that, I don't want to be a doomsday situation here, but is vitally important. So that's why you have to watch Market Mondays. You have to watch and listen, Earn Your Leisure. You have to go to Invest Fest. Get your tickets August 23rd to August 25th, because
all three.
It's not just what you know, it's also who you know.
Who you know. Yeah.
Relationships are vitally important.